Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. I'm your host, Zach Barnes. Kicking things off for us this week is women's head basketball coach, Kristen Mattio. Coach, how are you?
Doing great.
Well, Coach, since we saw you last, you had 2 games, one on the road against Midwestern State, as well as a home game on Saturday against Texas Women's. Both of those wins, we'll talk about Midwestern first, 74-48 win.
Yeah, Midwestern State was a good game for us. I thought we came out with a lot of focus from both ends, offensively and defensively. Got an early lead and was able to sustain it, and really had a solid second half too.
And then on Saturday, Texas Women's came to town, got a 73-69 kind of thriller, a win over that one.
Yeah, Texas women, every time we've played them, it's been a battle this year. They're a solid team. I just go back to they have a post presence. They have guards that are really good too. And we had an early lead and gave it back to them in that third quarter, but we're able to battle back and maintain our composure at the end of the game and get a close win. And I'm glad that we got that.
And of course, this week you've got 2 games. Of course, the game tonight against Texas A&M Commerce with a senior night, and then also Tarleton State on the road. And again, with tonight being junior night with Texas A&M Commerce, and it's your final home game. How's that one feel?
Yeah, anytime you have an opportunity to honor your seniors that have given their heart and soul to the Lady Buff basketball program, that's a special time for us. So we're going to honor Michaela and Zantea and Madison McLean during that night. But it's Commerce is a really good team, and they've had some really good games. That the last 5 or 6 games have been good for them. I feel like they're playing their best basketball right now. So it's going to be a battle for us, and we're going to have to come out ready to play.
And then, of course, again on Saturday, we'll go on the road to take on Tarleton State.
Yeah, Tarleton, they're a good team, well-rounded team, well-coached. We saw the first time around here it was a battle, it's going to be that way. It was last year down at their place too. It's a tough place to play, and so we're just going to have to be ready for that one as well.
And Coach, we'd like to thank you for joining this weekend. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. Up next for us is men's basketball head coach Tom Brown. Coach, since we saw you last, you took a road trip down to Midwestern State and ended up dropping that one 75-84. Let's kind of talk about that one a little bit.
Yeah, it was a good college game. We didn't make some plays down the stretch, missed some shots, and it's always tough going on the road. The whistle doesn't usually go your way, and so you have to be better than that. And we just came up a little bit short. Hopefully we get a chance to play those guys again in the conference tournament because we'd like another shot at them. But it was a tough loss for us.
And then upcoming this week, of course, you have a game against Texas A&M Commerce tonight, which is also senior night, as well as a road trip to Tarleton on Saturday.
Yep.
So you're hitting the last 3 games of the season with Eastern in the next week. Getting really close to the tournament. You're only really 1 game away from that top spot with Cameron.
Yeah, it'll be tough for us to get that top spot because there's 4 teams right now. It's us, Cameron, Angelo, in Midwestern, and Midwestern will have tiebreakers on us. They beat us twice. And the other teams we've split with. So it'll be tough to get that top spot. It's mathematically still possible, but pretty unrealistic. We have some big games, though, coming up with Commerce and Tarleton and Eastern, and those are our last 3 games of the year. And, with Commerce tonight, it's a huge game. We've already beaten them at their place, but they're right there in the regional. Same with Tarleton, same with us. We're kind of all 3 just kind of on the outside looking in, and whoever can make a push here late might be able to get an at-large. But it'll be tough to do. We're going to have to probably win that conference tournament, but again, it's anything can happen. These games at the end of the year, you never know what's going to happen in the Heartland and the RMAC. So you do the best you can, and hopefully we can get 3 here in a row and 1 at a time.
Well, Coach, I'd like to wish you luck this week, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. Up next for us is head softball coach Kevin Blaskowski. First off, Coach, congratulations on another 5-0 weekend.
Thank you.
And almost seen some of the theme also this weekend. Friday had a couple solid games, and then Saturday you had a couple of struggles as well. Had some slow starts on Saturday and Sunday. But you able to kind of pull it out?
Well, Friday night we had a great start with Fort Lewis and kind of got the jitters out and got through that game without a lot of issues. Offense obviously was big. And then Saturday we came out with Shadron, and it kind of the same thing in the first game. I thought pitching-wise, I thought Alexis threw a really good game on Saturday morning, and again the offense went out and put up a lot of runs. And then we came out against St. Mary's, who obviously year in and year out is they're one of the top teams in the region, and they got off to a fast start and really kind of jumped out on us. It reminded me a lot of last week's Dixie State game, and that was a big comeback, and one of those situations where our team showed a lot of character and not only came back and won the game, but won the game convincingly, creating another run rule situation. So I was concerned coming out Sunday if what kind of energy we would have, and I thought we came out flat, and Metro took advantage of that, and they built another significant lead. And again in the sixth inning, on the bottom half of our lineup, the bottom third, that freshman trio, Starkey led off with a base hit, then Coveney had a base hit, and pretty soon things were rolling. We got Cruz on, and then Allie Smith had a big pinch hit situation there to pick up a couple runs, and just a lot of excitement and a lot of energy on the offensive side. So I was concerned about it. We talked a lot after that about our start, and we wanted to start better in the last game against Adams State, and we came out and played very well in that game and got the big win again. So it was a good weekend. There's obviously things we still have to work on, and we've got to we've got to do a better job early in the game in pitching situations, and we've given up 7 runs in the first inning of games, and we've got to cut that number down and be better there. But offensively, we're excited about where we are and the number of people that are contributing right now.
And then this weekend, you've got another tournament with the Lady Buff Invite where you have Lincoln, Western Oregon, and Newman on the schedule, all 3 of those doubleheaders. Yeah,
it's a little different schedule this weekend. We're going to play each team in a doubleheader, so it'll be 2 games each day, and a little bit more like a doubleheader day than a tournament. We'll be able to warm up on the field and do pregame and just play the 2 games against the same opponents. So we'll set our pitching rotation a little differently for that, and Lincoln is coming in with a new head coach, and I know Chad wants to get that program turned around and do some good things there, and I hope he does. He's a really good guy, and good friend of mine is coming in with his group from Western Oregon. Lonnie Sargent does a great job with them, so Saturday's game should be exciting. And then Newman comes in on Sunday with another new coach, so trying to get their program off the ground and do some things there. So different opponents, which is good, and a weekend that we have to use to get ready for conference play.
All right, well, Coach, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. Up next for us is baseball head coach Matt Vanderburg. Coach, welcome back home.
Thank you, Zach. Thanks for having me.
Well, Coach, this last weekend you took a trip to Alva, Oklahoma. Came out 2-1 over in that 3-game series. First game, Northeastern State with a 1-5 loss. A couple errors, and that one made that a little bit difficult.
Yeah, we didn't play our best baseball really all weekend long. We've got to learn to be better on the road. We've talked about it all year long, just how much more difficult it is to play on the road, and that's something I think they learned this weekend. We made some crucial errors in the first game against Northeastern, but that's not what beat us. Offensively, we wasn't very good all weekend, and we've got to get better. We've got to do some things different. We've got to learn to make adjustments, especially against the left-handed arms. I mean, Northeastern did throw a really good lefty against us, but no reason why we should have only scored 1 run. We had a lot of opportunities and just got ourselves out a lot more than what we should have.
And then on Saturday, Brooks Trujillo had a solid day, had a school record 18 strikeouts in that game, as well as the 8-0 shutout.
Yeah, I mean, Brooks was as good as I've ever seen him. And I've told everybody all year long that he's head and shoulders better than what he was last year. He's really good for us. And as a guy that anytime he's on the mound, we're going to have a chance to win.
And then, of course, after that win against Northwestern on Saturday, he took him on again Sunday and ended up winning that one 3-2 in extras.
Yeah, again, a game that didn't play our best baseball, but we found a way to win, and that's always a good thing, especially on the road. And Northwestern's a really good team. I mean, right now they're only 2-6, but they're going to win a lot of ball games. They've got a lot of talent. When they start clicking, they're going to be extremely tough to beat. But was proud of our guys for finding a way to win. But we saw some things in that game we didn't like. I mean, we had a lead late, and that's something we talk about all the time. And made an error and had a balk called on us in the ninth inning ended up having them tie it up, and then we had to win that game in extra innings and stuff. So, but saw some really good things too from the weekend. Cole Sanchez, a guy that came off the bench last week and is having to play a lot right now because Nick Chapman's down with an injury, and he played really well, had 2 home runs for the weekend, and just was our spark plug type guy this weekend.
And then coming up for this weekend, we take a 4-game series against New Mexico Highlands. What can we expect?
I expect a tough team. New Mexico Highlands is always really good. They beat us 2 out of 3 at their place last year. It'll be good to be home. I think we're at home the next 3 weekends, which will be nice. Hopefully we can get our bats going a little bit, get a little bit healthier. Hopefully Chapman's a little bit closer to getting in there and playing every day. And I think that'll change our lineup a lot when he comes back and kind of shore things up a little bit. But guys have got to step up, especially our seniors. It was good to see Trace Hansen get a couple hits, especially the game-winning hit against Northwestern that last game. But all in all, we got to get better offensively, have better at-bats, and be able to execute a little bit better.
Well, Coach, I'd like to thank you for joining us today, and good luck this weekend.
All right, thanks for having me.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the WT Coaches Show. Up next for us is track and field head coach Darren Flowers. Coach, how are you?
I'm good.
Well, Coach, this last weekend you had 2 different meets that you went to. You went to Don Kirby, New Mexico, and you also went back to Pitt State for a bit, the Gorilla Classic. I just kind of talked to us about that one a little bit.
Well, we just had a couple guys go up to Pitt State to run a couple of distance events. Tyson Whelan and Blake Whalen, they ran 5K and 3K. And Blake actually hit a provisional mark in the 5K, and Tyson PR'd in the 3K. And we just wanted to give them a chance to run fast, and that's a really good track to do. It's 300-meter flat, so it's good for distance events. And then we took quite a few kids, well, I say quite a few, about 20 kids up to Don Kirby, and tried to give them one last chance to run fast before we go to conference. And we had some kids jumping and throwing as well. And it was a good weekend for us. We had some really good marks, and I think we're in a good place as we roll into conference next week.
And you talking about conference, the championship is next week. Who can we potentially see stepping up and doing some good things for you?
Well, Libby Strickland, she's going to be probably in 10-plus events over the weekend with the multi. And on the men's side, Jeffrey Kipchumba is going to play a big factor. He's going to be in 3 events. And so some of those distance guys are going to have to get in there and score some points. And we're hoping that some of our sprinters like Daniel, Stephen Cooper's coming around. I'm hoping those guys can score big in the 60, 200, and 400 for us and really score big points there, and Todd Hanley as well. If they can score big points in the sprints for us, then it's going to put us in a really good place.
Going into conference, who do you kind of see as your biggest competition?
On the women's side, I'd say Angelo. It seems to always be Angelo. Commerce does have some really good girls, and so does Tar. I mean, everyone in the conference has their fair share of great individuals. But I think team-wise, Angelo is really the strongest team. And then on the men's side, I think Commerce is the favorite going in. They won last year, and they have a lot of depth, and they score a lot of points where we don't necessarily score all the time. So we need to make sure we're making up for that in other events. So it's going to be a good battle.
And kind of, what's the mentality whenever you go into weekends like this, whenever you're also wanting to go in and compete for the conference championship, but you also want to be able to still go out to the national championships and still be able to compete?
It's a tough balance, but luckily I think we're fortunate this time around where the national championship's not until 3 weeks after our conference meet. Usually it's only 2. So we can load these kids up quite a bit and just say, hey, let's go for it. Let's go after it for the team. And they'll be pretty worn out after this weekend at high elevation, but we'll give them a couple days off and come back and start getting our mind right for the national championship.
Well, Coach, I'd like to wish you luck this weekend, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for joining us this week on the WT Coaches Show for the WT Sports Network. I'm Zach Barnes, and we'll see you next week.